Welcome back to our special Thought Leadership Dialogues at the ETAutoTech Summit 2025. As the global shift toward electrification and intelligent mobility accelerates, commercial vehicle design is undergoing a paradigm shift. Today, we're joined by two distinguished voices at the crossroads of industrial design and digital innovation. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Sathiyaseelan Gangasalam, VP Design and Styling at Ashok Leyland,
Hi.
and Suresh, Perinjery, Principal Solutions Consultant at PTC. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Right.
It's our pleasure.
Hi. Now, my first question to you, sir, is how is the transition to electric powertrains influencing the design language of commercial vehicles?
Oh, that's an interesting question. There's a very big paradigm shift, particularly EV. There's a lot of conservative design processes, as of my knowledge, remains the same, except the evidently looking different from the earlier IC engines, particularly in buses. You might have noticed it in switches, which is Ashok Leyland's sister concern, but we are the designers for them. So we design the exterior and interior. So we have a lot of advantages and of course advantages in terms of user as well as the fleet owners, whatever you call it. By the way, so in commercial vehicle, we have two segment of customers. One is the fleet owner who buys truck or bus, and the driver and passengers who travels in another user. So we have to cater the needs of the end user through the fleet owners. So there, the cost and regulation and durability, these are the metrics that we normally panel with. But when it comes for Indian commercial vehicle, again, there are two segments. One is fully built, other one is FES or front end structure, where I make the engineering gadget and then sell it off. People will go and build on their own. But interestingly, in EV, it's mostly fully built vehicle. It's reduces a lot of tension for a designer like me who deals with aesthetics. To have a grill is totally eliminated, or a very small opening for cooling or whatever you call it. So, and of course, you don't have a big bonnet inside the bus for having your big engineering gadgets like engine, powertrain, and all. Of course, you have a basic stuff. So you have to make a form interesting and pleasing to the customer without these kind of very strong 150 years old engineering gadgets.
Absolutely. I think that's most important. It has to look interesting and also easy to use. Requesting you to come in with your perspective, Suresh.
Yeah, so as you said, the vehicle dynamics itself changes. The vibrations which we talk about, in an IC engine compared to EV, it all changes. But we are concerned about, reducing the weight. But as such, we are also concerned about the aesthetics in such a way that it reduces the wrong or bad experience of the user as such. So that's where we try to build our solutions in such a way that there's a beautiful connectivity from the stylist to the detail designer, down to the tooling engineer, to the manufacturing and post sales service, etc. So that interconnectivity, that thought process, that collaborative thinking upfront really adds to the kind of aesthetic designs which Mr. Sathiyaseelan and team works on.
Well, absolutely. And now software has also become a big aid, or at least it's indispensable, right? So I would like to ask you, sir, what role does software play in shaping user experience from a design perspective? For instance, you were telling us about how the concerns of a fleet owner might be very different from that of an end user.
Right. So the modern digital tools enhances to reduce the prototyping. Prototyping is something where you validate your design physically in front of you, particularly for panels coming in, colors, textures, and lightings, the driver ergonomics, the fonts that you use, the information, and everything can be modeled and visualized with the VR, AR, augmented reality, virtual reality in a way. And today the artificial intelligence tools and software tools developed to actually review the interior, exterior of a whole bus, 12-meter bus, in a screen, and you can walkway and then modify very fast. So the digital prototyping reduces a lot of time saving, and majority of it, the changes or incremental design upgradation is very easy instead of a physical prototype. If you have to go for tooling and wait for it. And by the way, the digital tool is an investment, but when you compare with the physical prototypes, this reduces the product development cost,
Exactly what I was going to ask
pre-production
you.
cost.
You know, when it comes to digital twin, how are you deploying that when it comes to your electric commercial vehicles, especially in NPD?
Yeah, so the new product development nowadays not going without a digital tool. Okay, but at the same time, the whole world is also, particularly the design studios, were also in a middle of whether to follow the physical touch and feel. Probably the digital tools are, I think you must be knowing, there will be a lot of researches in the pipeline to feel it. Know if you pull it, what kind of pulling force. If I ram the door, how I am holding, whether that holding ergonomically, for male, female children sizes. So, and before we go for finalizing the design, we do a lot of sketches, right? And then we go for clay modeling. So that clay model will give you the perception of the real-time scale, 1:1, to understand your curves, panel breakups. Still, the digital have a, in my opinion, maybe I'm an old man, but we have a mix of digital as well as the conservative physical design process, particularly the clay modeling or manual sketching, still there on my table.
Oh, interesting. So there are some traditional methods you feel still work today,
Yes.
which are aided by technologies such as digital twin.
Exactly, precisely. You're right.
Excellent. I'll take that across to you, Suresh.
Yeah, so as he mentioned, that touch and feel, I'm aware of the fact that in EV vehicles, which is very silent, neither the driver gets the experience of driving. Now the pedestrian knows that the vehicle is coming.
Yes.
So there's a lot of, work going on the sound design side of it, wherein you get that feeling, both the driver as well as the pedestrian. So digital twin is aiding in multiple ways. So there are actually 4 types of digital twin. Digital twin of product, which he was talking about. Then you have a digital twin of process. Then you have a digital twin of place, and then you have a digital twin of human. So all that put together, if you can get that touch and feel in the virtual world, then I think we can do much more, as he is mentioning.
That's very interesting. Now there needs to be a simulation so that everybody feels safe.
Yeah, so that's a very interesting point. The audible display of vehicle approaching are going, and that is very important when it comes for occupant safety as well as environment safety. There should be some kind of audible display to be confirmed with the user that there is a vehicle is approaching, speeding, So people are working. I think, if I'm not wrong, in two-wheeler they are trying to create a kind of that beat noise in an electric vehicle to simulate, as you said.
Yes.
It's interesting that we've solved for the problem of noise and noise pollution in vehicles, and now that it's completely silent, we're adding it back to ease the user. So it's very interesting. And now when it comes to sustainability, which has become not just a buzzword, but it's become mandatory now for our very survival, how do you incorporate that into your design processes, especially for ECVs?
I'll be very frank for this question. So sustainability is a discussion point in various forums, but in the ground reality, I look at sustainability as a durable material and lightweighting, and even a reduced number of overdone designs, which will be a successfully practical, sustainable approach today, instead of going for of course the expiry of parts. And use of recycling materials without compromising the quality standards. So, in India, particularly in commercial vehicle design, it's just in a infant stage. I mean, it's just starting.
Okay.
So we are discussing. Probably it will take some time for me to handle with my hands.
Okay, interesting. That's an honest take indeed. And Suresh, from your vantage point, how are you
Yeah,
seeing
so in a
sustainability?
similar discussion with similar customers in the commercial vehicle segment, they say that we take a lot of measures of for sustainability in the manufacturing service field, but very less in the design side, which they are into now. So PTC also is trying to give a lot of solutions which aid that. Like as he said, design for assembly. Try to have minimum components with which I can assemble a component which will do the intended function. It itself is a path towards sustainability.
Yes.
Design
Exactly.
for manufacturing.
That's what I meant. Yeah.
So
The
all
modular
those things
strategy.
add to that. Yeah, exactly. So a lot of ways to think about it, but finally, as he said, the right material selection. How long can we use? We Indians otherwise also would use more than 15 years, 20 years. We are already sustainable by nature.
Correct.
But then how well it will perform or function the same way throughout its life cycle or extended life cycle is what the designers have to think about it.
Right. And my last question, of course, AI.
One
Sure.
point I want to add.
Sure.
I think this is the right time. Probably it may reach many people. Actually, in India, what happening in the design, engineering, medical, and any field, what you call consumer electronics, we only follow the trend or buy the trend. Okay. Even if we say, frankly, hydrogen, what we do, the cells are
Yes.
bought out. If you want the hydrogen cylinders,
Yes. Yes.
please name one company in India who makes. I may sound negative, but at this point of time, the market size is very big. In India, the size of the market is very big. To prove my point, I'm asking question both of you. Consumer electronics. Take a product called TV.
Yes.
Imagine in 2022 alone, the market size of TV is 1.2 trillion rupees.
Wow.
And the market share of Indian OEMs are zero.
Oh.
Okay, not to complain anybody, I'm asking a question. Why we are not able to make LCD panel? We had Solider, we have Keltron, hundreds of CRT TV companies.
Yes.
Right? You
I
know
agree.
that. Now, around 1.2 trillion rupees market is being enjoyed by somebody else. It can be 10:90 or somewhere else.
But you're seeing zero. We have
0 to 100 is it. And you have so much of laboratories, engineering, this, that, IITs, engineering colleges and everything. So like if you decode each and every product that we are using in, and we will streamline, India is a big market, but we don't enjoy it.
That's very well said. So market gap that we should be tapping into for sure.
So
when it
invent,
comes to us. Yeah.
reimagine, reinvent. From CRT, we become LCD. I don't want to go and decode what is LCD TV and then make a LCD. No, go to the future. Have a long time plan.
Correct.
Find something which is out of the blue. I can see, three of us can see three different channels at a home. So the Indian needs are totally different from the rest of the world, and the problems are very generic by their own, but the solutions are irrelevant today.
Okay.
If we innovate, if we really design, okay, and there is a very huge market. It can be anything. It can be, it's like,
Well
Okay.
said, sir. Well said.
So the solutions you feel are not fitting the problem, but are actually perpendicular to them and not.
we are forced to use it.
Yeah. Interesting indeed.
There are thousands of people, they don't have their own houses, but they have a smartphone at their homes.
Yeah.
They are nomads. They are staying in platforms or whatever in the cities you can see. But they have a gadget of 10,000 plus at their pocket and
Yes.
assume the market size.
That's quite something to think about indeed. So one more question before
Yes.
we wrap. What role do you see AI playing in the design and development process when it comes to EVs and SDVs?
Again, AI is a talk of the town.
Yes.
And machine learning, everyone talks about it. But you need data. But the data should be developed or fed by us. You agree?
Yeah.
There are expressways in Western world where no cattle are anything will cross.
Hmm.
Where if you go to city, South Indian city, elephants are also in.
Yes.
City like Madurai, if you are driving around a big temple or Tanjavur or whatever you call it, name it away. So who's going to feed the data of such
Yeah.
in the element?
Of these patterns of what is common for us, but something that may not exist in data if you don't have the relevant ones. Correct?
Yeah, and also I'll tell you very practical. I have a vehicle which have a ADAS or whatever, drive assist system, automatic brake, accident prevention or whatever. I encountered a accident out of that.
Because of it.
Yeah.
Is it because you feel it's in the nascent, the technology is
The
nascent?
scooter guy
What is it?
suddenly comes 90 degree from a gully from there.
Okay.
I'm sitting in my Mercedes. Without asking me, it applied brake. There's a guy who comes assuming that I will be crossing through.
Oh, wow. Oh. Okay, sure.
Yeah, so that's where I think there's a AI is something which should replicate human intelligence. So if I can feel that I can pass,
Yeah.
but the system is designed in such a way that it says that no, there's an obstruction, it is suddenly stopped, and it's not one incident. I have heard many incidents even from the sales guys of automotive.
Oh, that's very scary.
Very scary.
So tomorrow the same thing is going to be there even every car which is going to come in, which doesn't understand the Indian ways of lane changing.
Yes.
It unnecessarily troubles me. Without lane changing, how will you try?
And particularly for Indian traffic,
Yes.
there's some bit of human intelligence also to be
Correct,
added.
you
So
do
what
need
we come across, what we tell is that we are trying to build solutions which will assist, augment, and automate your design solutions. But when you say automate, it should be with that, and when it is in the operation or in the service, it should have that human intelligence. Think something like us,
Yes.
as he said. Otherwise, we can get into such missions.
Correct. It needs to have, needs to be an indigenous solution, which is also localized in nature, for sure.
That ecological shift is the necessary because I'll tell you, there's folk. How can I eat the diluted Thai sadam with folk? And then I'll ask Koreans and Chinese. They give chopsticks.
Yes.
So neither of them will help me because the dish is something very Indian.
But they do eat rice with chopsticks.
That's for them.
That's
correct.
that rice is not like Thai
Yeah,
sadam.
that's
It's
true.
a sticky
That's true.
rice.
It's a sticky
So what
one,
he's saying is
yes.
that it should be localized.
Correct,
It's
correct.
it's to that.
So
Absolutely, you're
buying
right.
the software is not going to solve my problem because I have kanji. I have kadhi, whatever. It's
Yes.
rasam.
Yes.
Okay, how will I consume rasam with the help of a fork?
That's
So-
yeah. I think that's the
We're
line.
talking about machine learning, AI and all. For me, it looks like that. I may be wrong or whatever. I'm telling it. You have to invest your inventive ecological shift, and you have to consider the problem. That's the reason why the solutions are relevant to the problems. And why we have to do. If it is Singapore, I can agree because Singapore is the city itself is a country. Kashmir to Kanyakumari, you have thousands of kilometers, man. And you tell me what kind of market it is available.
All right, sir. They've given us so much to think about today, and it's
Yeah.
been a great conversation
Thank
to be a part of. Thank you so much for joining
Thank
us
you.
here at Studios. I think the takeaway here is that when you're designing, we need to solve for problems that exist in a manner that directly addresses them and not try to force fit a global solution to an
Exactly.
Indian problem.
The empathy is what's very important.
Absolutely.
Our long route buses which ply 10 hours plus, do they have toilets?
Some of them.
Very few.
What some of them?
Very few.
Very
Very
few.
And I have a daughter. Assume you are in Tamil Nadu, at the tip of Kanyakumari. The capital is in Chennai.
Yes.
You have 700 plus kilometers. My daughter goes for an interview. She has a nature's call.
It's very difficult. There aren't
Unpredictably,
facilities.
it will approach. What kind of empathy do we have on the users?
Not at all.
Is there any policymakers or any politicians or the IAS officers, IPS officers? I mean, is there any way that you have to say this is the regulation? If you are flying 5 hours plus, you compulsorily should have a chemical toilet.
Correct.
How you maintain is your problem. Do we have that kind of empathy from even? I'm
Not
also
at
to
all.
be blamed. I'm a designer. 30 years I'm doing. I have never done a project for that.
Hmm.
So we just go by the regulation, because the regulation is what is driving the commercial vehicle.
I
But
think, yeah.
but tomorrow, the future, the people have to demand for all that.
And be driven by empathy. Thank you, sir. Thank you once
Empathy
again.
as well.
Once
Yeah.
again.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for watching. And for more such exciting conversations, remember you can catch those from our ET Auto Tech Summit 2025 right here.